A conservation group is sounding the alarm after they said the Department of Fisheries and Oceans failed to renew contracts for fish monitoring at the height of the spawning season. CFTK-TV's Jaylene explains further.
Creekwalkers have a very particular job of traveling streams in the region and counting fish, creating critical data to estimate stocks and manage fisheries. But some conservation groups are sounding the alarm as contracts have been terminated for local creekwalkers at what is typically height of season in the Skeena and Nass tributaries.
It's an essential function for fisheries management because it allows us to know if we have enough abundance to allow for fisheries to occur. And what's happened is DFO didn't get it together this year for whatever reason to put proper contracts in place for these folks. And they cobbled together some short-term contracts to get them going for the season. And those short-term contracts ran out about 2 weeks ago. And so these folks have been dead in the water, and our salmon streams on the north coast have been going unmonitored for spawners at the height of the spawning season. It's an absolutely massive management failure by DFO, and it really needs to be addressed immediately to get these folks back on the water doing their job.
We reached out to the DFO asking why the lapse on Friday. They acknowledged the question and said they'd get back to us, but have not, despite follow-up. But Hill says one contract has now been reinstated as of Monday and another is in the works. However, he says this isn't an ideal solution. There's now been a massive gap in assessments in many areas. Hill says this highlights the chaotic and dysfunctional approach that the DFO is taking, despite a large investment made just last year.
This failure to keep our creekwalkers in the water is coming right at the end of the Pacific Salmon Strategy Initiative, which is this program where the federal government spent $650 million over the last 5 years to conserve and restore salmon populations in BC. And again, this is the one job that they really need to do the most, is actually getting out there and counting the fish, which also lets them know if they've spent that money effectively and it's having the desired impact on the stocks.
For CFTK TV News in Terrace, I'm Jaylene Matthews.